Yeah, we're official. We're in the building. Gonna go live on Instagram. Waiting for that to populate. All right, cool. Here we are. I'm just gonna let people jump in the room real quick. So, Sean, we changed the name. So when we can't have a face-off, the new show is called Up Next.
Nice.
So we're just doing like who's up next. You know all you guys are up next. So. Yep. You know, that's what it's called for this particular show. It's gonna let, like I said, a couple more people jump in, and we're gonna get this started.
Sounds good.
Let me get that mute popping again. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool, man. We got a few people checking in. All right, so we're just gonna get right to it, guys. Welcome to the first episode of Up Next. When we don't have a face-off, the show is called Up Next, and today we got the one and only 2023 Ringmaster Champion Sean Oberdie in the building. Sean Oberdie is also fighting this Saturday for the 176 SBC strap at Stereo Garden versus Adrian Frometta. Okay, it's going to be a great matchup. Two excellent fighters, two fighters that have been around and have experience, and they're going to put it on the line for the SBC strap. So we got Sean Oberdie in the building. Am I saying it right?
O'Brothy. I've told you before, but it's all good. It's all good. No one's going to get it right.
O'Brothy. Sean O'Brothy.
If you don't know, just say O'Brady. That's better.
Nah, we'll say O'Brothy, right? That's it?
I love it. Yeah, O'Brothy, exactly.
So welcome to the Up Next show. Glad to have you on. Glad you took the time out to do this. I'm excited to have you. As always, you know, you've been a consummate professional since you've been on my first show, you know, always engaging with your fans and, you know, getting the write-ups and just showing up always. You did the last Before the Lights episode last season, which was great. It was a good build-up for that awesome main event. But we're back. You're in your rightful weight class, 176. And about this Saturday, first and foremost.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, last time around wasn't my night, obviously. Probably the worst night of my career so far. So I want to rectify that this weekend. I know it's not going to be an easy test. I have a lot of respect for Adrian. I didn't know much about him until the last few months when he won the Metros while I was away competing in Ireland. But I know he's beaten all the same guys I've beaten. So I really think the two of us are the two best light heavyweights in the city. I think him and I are going to rematch at the Ringmasters final at the Garden, assuming he does the Ringmasters at 176 Open as well. So I'm expecting a great fight. You know, I only take the toughest fights against the toughest opponents. You know, I could have asked you, can I take a tune-up, whatever, but no, I want to jump right back in for the belt. I told you I wanted the belt from the start. You know, I made a mistake last fight. I thought I could go down in weight quickly. I was at a national tournament at 176 in, you know, September 9th to September 16th, and then I took a 165 fight at the end of September. It wasn't a smart move. I figured, you know, since I had beaten him before, I could do it again, get the SBC strap. But in reality, the light heavyweight belt is the one that I'm meant to have.
No doubt.
So I'm excited.
No doubt. So being at 176, this is your most comfortable weight. You feel the most strong here.
For sure. I've been growing. You know, I'm 21 years old. You know, I started out as a teenager, so I was still getting bigger. Sometimes it's hard to tell yourself, you got to move up in weight because you're fighting bigger guys. But the reality is you're training hard. I train, you know, 6 days a week, most of the time twice a day. So I'm going to get bigger. I'm going to need to fill out in my frame. And I feel much better at 176 now. And I feel great.
How's camp been going for this particular fight? You've had about at least 6 weeks to prepare for this particular opponent. Has there been a particular strategy that you've been going into this camp and executing?
Yeah, so I do have some footage of Adrian Frometta. The one time I did see him fight live was at the Garden. He lost in the final of the 176 Open, I believe, last year. Fought a tough guy in the final, who's a former national champion. But I hadn't really put him on my radar yet. But I noticed he had some skills. He has a few clips on YouTube that I got to watch, so I could tell that, he's got some good movement. He's a good boxer. He's got experience. He's been in the game a while. He's got some fights on YouTube from 2017, 2018, when I didn't know much about boxing. So I'm excited for this fight. And yeah, I'm expecting a good technical fight. So I mean, whatever he brings, I'll be ready for, but I think it's going to be a high level matchup for sure.
Excellent. Has there been any specific sparring partners that you've brought in to help you prepare for Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is he's an orthodox fighter, so I've been sparring a lot of orthodox fighters, just guys that have good movement. Sometimes it's hard to pick your exact sparring partners. You can't always pick and choose, but I have a good fair amount that I can kind of decide which ones make the most sense to spar with.
Right.
So yeah, we've been sparring the right guys, similar height. He's, I think, an inch or two shorter than me. So yeah, kind of guys that mimic his style that we've been working with. So
excellent. So you coming in here prepared this Saturday. You feel like super confident, like going into this, like this Saturday. This is your night. You feel it's your night.
For sure, I'm gonna put my best foot forward, and obviously, I expect to come back with the SBC strap. I don't expect it to be easy. I know this is, the toughest matchup in New York for me, but I believe I'm the best in the city, and soon I'll be best in the country. So I got to take the toughest fight. So I'm excited.
And I commend you. You always take the toughest fight, since Bailey, moving on to this and going to the nationals and always challenging yourself and performing at a high level. Adrian is definitely a tough customer, and both of you guys taking this fight means a lot for this event as well. It sets a standard for other fighters coming up, saying, you know what, I can't take an easy fight for that belt. I got to fight the best, like Sean did, like all the other guys who are doing it as well. So I appreciate that as a promoter and somebody who cares about what we're doing here. Walking away with the SBC strap, what would that mean for you moving forward?
Yeah, I think other than the New York tournaments that have been here for, years, the SBC title is obviously the most prestigious title in the metro area. It's also one that I have not secured yet. I won the Ring Masters. I won the New York Boxing Tournament. I still have yet to win the Metros because I was away last year. But yeah, this SBC title, it means a lot to me. I like how it looks.
Yeah.
I like having belts.
Yeah. And this one you defend. There's no other belt to defend but the SBC.
Yeah, exactly. It's the pro style belt of the amateurs in New York City. I don't think any other city in the country has this type of event.
Nobody.
I've always told you, Christian, I'm super grateful for your whole setup, what you do for us and what you do for the boxing community as a whole. So I definitely want to be a part of SBC history and take that belt and hopefully defend it.
Now, in June 15th, that's the next event. Do you plan on defending it if you walk away the champion?
Yeah, I think what I really want to do, we'll see if he's up for it, but I'd love to have the third fight with Izzy at 176.
Okay.
I don't know if he's willing to move up. I know he also has aspirations to turn pro soon. But something about how things ended, I want to rectify that.
You want to revenge that?
Yeah. So I think that would be the biggest fight in SBC history. I know a lot of people would doubt me considering the last result, but to be honest, when I'm at my best, I don't think there's anyone that can beat me in the whole country, let alone the tri-state area. So that's what I would love for a title defense. Other than him, we'll have to see what happens at the Ring Masters. I think that's where you kind of see who are the best in New York City.
Yep.
So we'll see and go from there. But that's what my heart wants for sure.
No doubt. So let's get into where you train, where you're from, just for the fans that don't know you, that are tuning in, that are going to watch this on YouTube after this is live and everything. Just let everybody know where you're from, what got you into boxing. And let's start off with that.
Yeah, so I train at Work Train Fight in Manhattan. Um, I'm currently a college student. I'm 21. I've got another year of college, so this is my real passion, though. I'm studying stuff in college, and I'd love to use my degree one day to do great things. But boxing has always been my passion. I only started competing a couple years ago, but I've always been into boxing since the age of 13. Um, was born and raised in Manhattan, two immigrant parents. My dad from Ireland, my mom from Belgium. They always instilled, hard work in me. So that's what I love about boxing. Like the thing about boxing is I really think there's a direct correlation between how hard you work and how much success you have. There's other sports that I feel like require more talent. I played soccer. That was my biggest sport growing up. And the kids that were good when I was 5 years old were good when I was 18 years old. It was kind of the same. But boxing, there's something about, the people who you see in the gym the most often, the people that have the most regular fights, those are the people that do the best, that are the best. And I've always thought that was interesting about boxing. It's a little bit different of a sport in that sense, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
it's
no one
it's
in my family boxed, but um, my dad's family comes from a long line of Irish freedom fighters. My granduncle was the Irish Republican Army's chief of staff. I don't know if you knew that. Um, so actually, when you Google my name, the Wikipedia page that shows up is my grandfather, who I was named after, who was also involved in all that.
wow.
Um,
So he's got the fight in him, that natural, warrior, that
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think fighting comes in different forms. I just do it in boxing, but my family's always done it in one form of another or another. Defending the Irish country against British invasion. So
it's
I
honorable.
guess in
Yeah,
some sense, my family's been fighting for years.
yeah, absolutely. You could totally say that it's in the blood, and fighting that comes in all forms and facets. And boxing is just more physical in the sense of it's just one on one in a ring.
Yeah,
The mindset is still there, the heart is still there, and it's in that blood. So that's awesome.
100%.
Very cool. If you don't mind me asking, what are you going to school for?
I study real estate.
Okay, and you're going to college for real estate?
Yeah, yeah. I go to NYU.
Okay, very cool. All right, and you plan on working in the real estate industry?
Yeah, I mean, my goal since I was young was to be a world champion. So, uh, my family kind of pushes me to go the corporate route, the less dangerous route.
Of course,
My heart wants to do the boxing. So
you could do
for me,
both.
the amateur game is where I prove to myself that I can do this. And
Yeah,
I think I've proven some stuff so far, but
absolutely,
I want
absolutely.
to. I want to keep doing the amateurs, win a national title. That's my goal, and then from there we'll see if I work in real estate, you know, become a professional boxer, or do both. We'll see.
You could do both. You could definitely do both.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So how does your family feel about you fighting? You have any brothers and sisters?
yeah. I have a fraternal twin brother.
Oh, for real? Like you don't look alike though.
No,
Oh, okay.
we're
It's fine.
twins, but we don't look exactly the same. Thankfully, I wouldn't want to look exactly like someone, but um, yeah, he's big into sports. He watches combat sports, mostly MMA. He's not a big fan of boxing, but he gets excited when I fight, when I compete. He's
Right.
at most of my fights.
So he supports you.
Um,
He's behind you. He got your back.
yeah, he's behind me. He's silent like that. He's in the back watching,
Yeah.
supporting. Sometimes he gets loud and and supporting me and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's a good support system for sure.
That's awesome, man. You always need that support system. Do you have like a lot of friends that come out to the fight support you? You have like a cool knit of friends?
Yeah, yeah. Whoever's in town. I mean, my college friends, are here. They'll be here this weekend.
Cool.
All my real ones come out for me, as you know.
No
When I
doubt.
have big fights, then I bring out the whole Irish American
Yeah, yeah.
community.
I know.
I try and rally them.
Yeah, no.
Um,
You
it's
definitely
tough
have a
to
big
get
crowd.
them. It's tough to get them out to Suffolk County. I've been trying to reach out and get some people over. I'm definitely gonna have a good crew with me.
Cool,
Uh,
man.
but
It's always
yeah,
good to have that support behind you, the crowd cheering for you. Just builds up the excitement a little more for yourself. You got people to fight for,
for sure.
you know. I was gonna ask you as well. So being that you were going to the Ringmasters after this. You are planning on going to the Nationals after that.
Yeah, for sure. So I need to win the Ring Masters and Open to go to the National Golden Gloves.
Okay.
That I'm definitely looking forward to. That's where you get tested against the best from all the regions in the country, which
Yeah.
I've done before, but in the Golden Glove system, I haven't done it yet, which is going to be interesting. And yeah, and then from there, I want to go to every national tournament I can qualify for, and make the national team. That's my goal.
No doubt. Absolutely. As you should. Keep it going. Let me talk about the fight now. Let's talk more about the fight this Saturday. How do you envision the fight playing out? Is there a vision of how you want it to play out or how it's going to play out?
Yeah, when you think about fights, you dream about them. You're in the shower, you're thinking about them. Anytime you're kind of alone, you imagine how things are going to play out.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely plan on using my jab a lot, keeping my distance, using my boxing skills, using my footwork.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be a beautiful display of boxing. I think he's going to show up and he's going to somewhat match my skill set.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, it'll be a masterful performance by myself, and
Love
I'll
it.
get my hand raised. I just expect beautiful boxing. So
I love the confidence, man. I love it. And we've seen you fight before at a high level and perform that way. So I feel like it'll be no different. I'm excited to have you on the card, and I'm looking forward to your ring walk because the last fight you came out with the bagpipe. I mean that was awesome. Crowd loved it. Do you have anything special for this particular ring walk this weekend?
yeah, well, I gave you the song that I'm gonna walk out to. It's an important song for me. I'm not gonna have a performer with me this time, unfortunately.
Okay.
Um, maybe for the next one, you got to change things up. I can't bring the bagpipes out every time.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't
But
mind. That'd be cool. You can still do it.
yeah, yeah, why not? Who knows? I'll think about it and we'll talk. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm keeping it more chill this one.
Okay.
Making sure I get the job done because at the end of the day, that's the most important. Um, Previously, I feel like I got too caught up in kind of the show and all
Yeah.
this extra stuff, and I want to get back down to my roots, back down to what matters,
Right.
and winning the boxing match.
Right. And you saying that, I think about that all the time. I'm like, I put a lot behind this, and I give everybody a lot of attention. I put their name out there a lot. And we create reels, and it's constantly you guys getting put out there. I feel like, does it bother the fighters sometimes? Is it a little too much for their psyche? Could they handle it and so forth? I was just touching on what you just pretty much said. Do you feel like that kind of had an effect on you in the first fight?
Yeah, probably to some extent. When you're walking out to music, the bagpiper's next to you. You're trying to tell him what to do because he's never done a walkout before, and you're focused on all this other stuff. And you're like,
Right.
"Oh, well, I have a fight right now. Like, I shouldn't be focused on all this other stuff." And
Right.
then you're walking out. You see your boys. You're looking at them, trying to high five everyone, but you
Yeah.
can't be like that when you're about to fight. You have to be serious. You have to be in the zone.
Right. So
And
any advice to the fighters that are on the card for the first time that are gonna have this crowd, this stage, this ring walk, like any advice you want to give to them or anybody in the future that's going to be on this stage, like what to focus on and how to go about this?
yeah, I would say enjoy the moment once the fight's over. The night doesn't end the second the bell rings. After you get to celebrate, assuming you win, you get to spend time with your family, maybe watch a few more fights if there's some fights left. But while you're getting ready, while you're walking into the fight, stay focused and do what matters, getting the job done, because all the rest doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
everyone's going to remember whether you won or you lost that fight, not any other stuff. I mean, they'll probably remember a cool ring walk, but at the end of the day, you'd rather be the better fighter with the normal ring
Yeah.
walk than the guy who has great ring walks but doesn't win his fights.
Yeah. Exactly. It's all great for the excitement, but at the end of the day, I personally want everybody to be able to lock in and focus on their job at hand, and that's to put their best performance on that stage. That's what it's meant to be. So not for a distraction, just to add that little character to show everybody's personality. And I think we're doing that job. I just want everybody to stay focused on the task at hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and I respect Adrian, not necessarily wanting to have a face off and talking smack and all this stuff before the fight. We did that last time. It was fun and games and stuff, but sometimes you need some fights where you just, you know, the actions speak louder than the words, and you just have a great fight. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy trash talking before and all this stuff. What matters is what happens in the ring. So I'm excited.
No doubt, man. I'm just looking at my questionnaire right now. A few more questions before we log out. But in the meantime, is there anything you want to say to, anything you want to say that I'm not touching on that maybe you were compelled to talk about?
Yeah, I would just say, that I'm super excited to fight on this card. There's going to be so many great fights. Like, what's amazing about this card is you really have the best in every weight class. Like guys like Melvin Martinez, guys like Izzy, um, you know, guys that are coming back like Joe Kennedy, who, I watched the show. He said he was somewhat of a fan of mine. I was a fan of his before he was a fan of mine. It's just great to be able to see people's personalities and stuff. Like, these are people I would follow on Instagram. I kind of see what they're doing, but don't get to hear them talk and really understand what type of person they are. And I think, the people that are watching now are getting to learn more about me, and, they might change how they perceive me in a good or a bad way, however it is. But
Right.
obviously this platform is just massive for amateur boxers like us.
No doubt. I love it, man. I'm glad you love it. And I'm glad it's doing its job. We're going to keep growing from here, too. There's so much more I want to do. This particular event, same cosmetics, just better fights, better matchups all across the board. And one last question, and then we'll sign out. What legacy do you want to leave behind in the sport of boxing?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a loaded question. It's funny because when you ask that question, the first thing I think about is my kids, which is weird because I don't have any kids yet.
Right.
But, my kids and possibly their grandkids are going to watch this video, which is kind of crazy to think about because I'm not going to have kids for, hopefully another decade.
Wait, how old are you, Sean?
I'm 21, so
You're a baby, man.
I'll wait at least till my 30s. Nowadays, people are having kids later and later, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a legacy, I'd say I want to be known as a good boxer, first of all, a great boxer. I want to be known as someone that didn't shy away from challenges, someone that worked hard for what he got. Boxing's a sport where you don't always get given things. If you want titles like this one, you got to fight for them. Obviously, there's politics and stuff, but at the amateur level, you essentially need to fight for whatever you have. And I want to be remembered as, someone who somewhat changed the game, whether it's just on this local amateur circuit or one day in the pros being a world champ selling millions of pay-per-views. I want to be proud of the work I've done, and I'm on that path. I've started to do that. And the more I compete, the more I kind of build my resume and build a name for myself, a name that my kids and their kids and their kids will bear, O'Brady. So I want people to learn how to pronounce my last name. That's what I want.
Just say it like Mayweather or Broly.
Exactly.
Easy.
Exactly.
Okay, man. Well, well said. Well said. I appreciate you taking the time tonight to do the up next interview. I look forward to Saturday seeing you put your art on display. And that's it, man. Any last things you want to say to the fans that are tuning in? And that's it.
Yeah, to all the fans, just come out on Saturday. You're gonna have there's a great show, great fights, and you're not gonna regret it. Whether you've been to 100 boxing events before or never been to one, this is as exciting as it gets, especially, in the amateur game in the city, in the metro area. So definitely come out. Tickets on sale, as the list says.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't wait to see everyone on Saturday.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, Sean, my man. You have a great night. You have a great fight week, training, relaxing, meditating. And I'll see you Saturday, brother.
Thank you, Christian. Great talking to you.
You too. Always, brother. Thank
Have
you.
a good one. Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the episodes, everything that we have going on here before the lights episodes, face off episodes. That was our first up next episode. We're going to keep doing this throughout, before, post fight as well. What else? If you guys want to sponsor and attach your name to our event and get massive exposure to the most largest boxing community in America, that's right, the New York metro area, give us a call or email us. All info is in the Instagram and YouTube bios. That's it. We'll look forward to Saturday. We got a stacked card, 16 fights, 11 championship bouts. We have one interstate championship, the first one ever. And we just had Sean O'Bravi, who is fighting Adrian Fermetta, fighting for the 176 SBC title. It's a vacant title. The winner will go on to defend it June 15th. There's just so much involved. So you guys are going to be excited this Saturday. Come out with your friends and your family and don't miss it. See you guys soon. Peace.